welcome back. This is By the Book, and we are married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we are talking about Married at First Sight, Season 16. This is Episode 1. Okay, so y'all probably already know these are not my favorite ones to do before we really get into the nitty-gritty of these couples. I like to do the episodes when something is actually going on. We've already seen Meet the Couples, so we've seen kind of 2 intro episodes to these couples and kind of got a feel for who they were. And to me, this episode, we got more of the same. I didn't get a whole lot extra out of these couples at all. I mean, there's a few things here and there, and we'll talk about them as we go through the video, but not a whole lot extra, in my opinion, was there to be gathered from what we saw in this episode.
Yeah, we're still in the setup stage. We don't know a lot still about these people and how these couples are going to work. We don't have enough information yet.
I think a lot of what they do in these very preliminary episodes is try to like set the tone or give us like a lead in kind of to what may happen during the course of the episode, or I'm sorry, the course of the season. By that I mean, for instance, they're showing Dominique with the strippers at the bachelorette party, and it looks kind of inappropriate. You know, they're kind of painting her out to be like the wild child, the immature one. She is 25. The husband that they've selected for her is very reserved. And so it's like they're already kind of setting this home for us to say, hey, this is going to be a mismatch. Look out for these things.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing. I mean, we might as well just jump in and talk about that couple since I started talking about them. But those are the major things about it. I mean, she's young. She has young friends. They seem to live a young lifestyle. She's the one who's jumping out and saying, I love a good GNO, which I had never heard of. That might be a young people term. I didn't know Girls Night Out had an acronym, but it does. So now we know what it is.
Yeah.
So I didn't get, even when they were picking them, I didn't like this couple. I didn't like the age gap. I wasn't sure about the interracial nature of their relationship, because Pastor Cal tried to like touch on it, but it was in such a vague way. I wasn't sure if they were both okay with that or not. You know, you just don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't get good vibes about them from the very beginning.
Yeah, I didn't either. That which begs the question, why? Why would you even pair them up?
They needed a 5th couple.
That's as good a reason as any.
That's what it seemed like.
But it was just, no. She's immature. She doesn't seem ready. She's flirting with strippers and all of this stuff. I mean, it is just not, okay. I don't want to be like the person who's going to come off as, okay, you can't do anything that's fun. Of course, this is your bachelor or your bachelorette party, and it's kind of, let your hair down, have a little fun or whatever. But when it gets to the point to where you're actively engaging with a stripper, you're actively flirting and want to give this guy your number.
Wait a minute, who said give him my number? Did she get a man a number?
You can tell.
I didn't see anything like that.
It was more than just having some fun. I mean, she was how they say, grinning in somebody's face. She was like really open. You could tell a guy knows what a woman is. No, babe,
I think you're taking it far. I think you're taking it far.
Nah.
She was not going to give that man her number. Some people are just flirty by nature. And I think she is. She's young.
Yeah.
Young, pretty girl. And I think that's how she has fun. I don't think she was going to give him her phone number.
Okay.
Let us know what y'all think. I don't think it was that serious. I mean, I know, like, he's a lot more reserved about behaviors than I am in terms of like relationships and stuff like that. Like, I give people a lot more leeway than you do. But yes, I think it was something that was like not comfortable to be captured on camera.
Yeah.
But it's on camera. You know what I mean? Like most people's bachelorette party or bachelor parties aren't on camera. And I'm quite sure there's a lot going on at bachelor parties and bachelorette parties that if we all saw it on video, we'd be like, what is he doing? Right? Yeah. So I didn't think it was that huge of a deal what she was doing at the bachelorette party. My opinion.
I don't know. Just to me. It seemed like it was just pushed a little bit too far. And I don't know. I hope nothing transpired.
Nothing happened? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Like she was ready. Like she was ready to meet. From a man's standpoint. Shinning and grinning. That's what they call it. Shinning and grinning all in his face.
Okay. You got anything else on Dominique that you would like to say?
She shouldn't be getting married. That's enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think she would be all right paired with a better match. I think they're poorly matched. I just simply think that he's too reserved and uptight maybe for her type of lifestyle. He doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to like party and let loose in a way that she's going to want to. And because she's prone to want to do girls' nights out and things like that, he wouldn't be her cup of tea in that sense. It's just going to seem like she's running away from him. Kind of give you like the Alexis and Justin vibes when she wanted to go to the club all the time. That's how Dominique is going to seem to him, and he's going to be like, well, she doesn't like me. But as we all saw the previews, they may not even get that far because it looks like she packed her bags and left. So
she packed her box. She had a box.
She packed her box and left. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe she comes back, but I think that's going to be a recurring issue. All right. Okay. So let's talk about Kirsten. I think it is, and Shaquille.
All right.
I feel the same way I felt last week when we talked about this. I just feel like I like Shaquille. I think he's probably a nice dude. I just feel like he gives off just a little bit more femininity than a lot of women are going to want to tolerate, maybe. And I think because, like you pointed out last week, and we could really see it hit home this week, she does have a lot of standards. You know, she knows she's an attractive girl. She wants an attractive guy. She wants a successful guy. She wants an educated guy. She wants a spiritual guy. Yeah. You know, she has her list.
Yes.
And it's not that he doesn't have his. I'm sure he has his as well, but she's very forward in putting her list out there. And one thing that we did see at the tail end of this episode and sort of leading into the previews of next is that she was open in terms of talking to her friends and stuff about kissing him on the lips at the altar. But she said if she wasn't feeling him, then she would like let him go for her cheek. And that's what happened. So the question is, and what my husband and I were talking about just before we start filming is why did she make him go for the cheek? Is it that she wasn't physically attracted to him? Is it that he kind of showed that femininity in his speech pattern and you know, his expressions, and she was put off by that? Was it just too soon? Yeah. You know, it could be nothing.
Or, like I was saying, I think it possibly could be that she's looking for someone just a little bit more attractive. A Drake or an Usher or something like that.
Now, why would you say Drake? Who said Drake was attractive?
Because she said that she wanted someone as, like you said, as attractive as she
But where you come with Drake from?
You know?
What?
That's what young ladies were probably going to be attracted to. A Drake or Usher. That type of pretty boy type thing. What?
Why she couldn't have been looking for Michael B. Jordan?
I guess she could be looking for him too. Yeah, I guess so. But them two just kind of like came to mind.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's wrong with Drake or Usher?
Don't nobody want Drake. Anyway, no.
I don't know. Somebody just lied about being with him.
Anyhow, I don't think that Shaquille is an unattractive guy.
Okay.
I think he's okay. You know, I think I would say he's an attractive guy.
Okay.
I think what takes away from it again is the femininity in his presentation, something in his speech, something in the way he moves his lips, something that. Honestly, I'm not kidding. It's something, and I know that the ladies will pick up on this, and probably the men too. It's like, what is that? I don't like it. It's a little bit off-putting. Mm-hmm. And I think if she perceives that, I mean, he's got to stand there, right face in front of her, and say these vows. It's going to be noticeable because it's in everything he says. So that could just be off-putting in and of itself. That's a hurdle.
I'm sorry. I'm still hung up on the lips. Because every time you said that, I thought of Justin.
We gonna leave season 15 in the past.
Oh my goodness. Okay. But yeah, she's very particular. Persnickety is probably the word I would probably say. And she definitely knows what she wants. And with him, he is basically saying that he doesn't want to be alone. And that kind of like stood out to me because just because you don't want to be alone,
gonna be desperate.
Yes, that does not say that you're ready to be married or that you should be married. The fear of being by yourself is not a good reason to engage and get married. Definitely not. It should be instead of the fear driving you, it should be the opposite of that. It should be the faith part of that driving you. As far as I want to love someone versus I am afraid to be by myself or I'm afraid to grow old by myself.
So how do you think that looks in terms of their relationship? Like, do you think he's going to like love bomb her and just be real desperate and push her away? Kind of in the same way, I hate to say this again, that Justin did with Alexis. Do you think it's going to be like too much, too soon, too pushy? We got to make this work. Or
it could be. It could play out that way if she gives him half a chance to let it play out that way. She just might be hands off as soon as she sees him and carry that.
I think she's gonna turn it around. I think she's gonna open up to him. We can't have two people like that right off the bat, can we? That's unprecedented.
Yeah. My big thing is if you're going at it from a standpoint of fear, that insecurity is going to come back and haunt you some kind of way later. And so as it plays out, it could go like a Justin-like type thing when the insecurity kind of like builds up, and then you're arguing, you're snipping, because you're not getting what you felt that you should have been getting, and so it could play out that way. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. Too early.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Nicole and Chris. This is another bad match for me. This episode just kind of brought out more of exactly how overwhelming she can be, how extremely talkative she is. And while I think that she's aware that she comes off as being a lot, very dominating in a sense over the conversation, she doesn't reel it in. Anyway, as we were watching her sit with the girls and talk, she's just... and I'm pretty sure when she threw out her safe word, everybody at the table wanted to be like, well, pineapples then. Like, shut up. Because she was just going on and on and on. And I don't know if he's even going to stop her because he's so nice.
She got a fast tongue. This girl can talk. She can talk. And on the flip side of that coin, he's a bit socially awkward.
He is socially awkward. He's giving me Henry.
Yeah.
I don't know what season was it, 12? I don't know. Is it 11? It's been a while. Not as extreme as Henry, but definitely somewhere on that spectrum of awkwardness. And he looks so uncomfortable. I'm not used to men having conversations about sex and looking like they want to ball up and get underneath a rock. And that's how he looked when they were having this conversation. He did open up and admit that it had been a year for him since he had sex. And, you know, a lot of guys are kind of snickering or whatever about it. But I don't think that's that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. It's just that you have to be self-confident. Whatever you've chosen, if you've decided, he tried to explain it, if you've decided that you want something more meaningful, you want to wait until you're in a relationship to have sex with a woman, that's respectable. You don't have to be ashamed of that. Like, just stand on that, and so what? But he got all like, nobody wants to see, like, be confident in that. And Nicole needs a man who's going to be confident, because he's going to have to stand up to her. Yeah. Yeah. Or she's going to run him over.
Yeah, definitely in the communication arena, she's definitely going to run him over, because she has a whole lot more words than he does, at least so far as what both of them have shown. And I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be really hard for him to kind of like get out what his needs are going to be in the relationship, because she's going to be talking 100 miles an hour, and it's going to be hard for him to get a word in. And so just that whole mismatch right there is going to be difficult. And how I hate every season when Pastor Cal or Dr. Pepper say this person is the opposite of them, so they're gonna bring them out of their shell and all that. I hate when they do that, because every time they say that, every one of those couples ultimately goes down in fire. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Like, you don't really bring someone out of a shell. Mm-hmm. Like, you can create a safe enough space for them to feel as comfortable as they can get, you know, as open as they can get, as adventurous as they can get. But they're who they are. Yeah. I'm not going to suddenly make you want to jump out of an airplane because I'm so exciting. Like, that's not how that works. I'm not bringing you out of that type of a shell. Yeah. So I don't know what it is. I honestly think that that's what they're left to say when the producers make them deal with a match like that. Because I think even if they didn't know in season 1 that doesn't work, they know it by now. Oh, yes. This is season 16. It's not working. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. I also think that he seems to me, you let me know how you feel about this, but he seems like maybe not very experienced in relationships, period. Wasn't he the one who said, I've never lived with a girl before? Yeah. And it sounds so juvenile. Yeah. You know, I'm like, you've never lived with a girl? You're a grown man in your 30s. What are you talking about? Like, you've never lived with a woman. You know, you've never decided to move in and have a serious enough relationship to where you were either ready to marry or to cohabitate with a woman, a grown woman, you know, not a little girl. He just, I don't know. He seems very sheltered and not prepared for this process to me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. But one thing that he did say that I did like is when he said that he's a selfless person and he wants to put someone else's needs ahead of his own. I thought that was right on. That sounded like husband material just from that statement. But everything else I've kind of seen, I'm kind of on the fence with him.
Yeah. Yep. It ain't gonna work. So let's move on to talk about Jasmine and Eris. Jasmine might be my favorite person so far to say. I just like her. Like, I like that she's, you know, she's athletic, she's energetic, she's into kids. You know, she's a cheerleading coach. She's more than meets the eye, so to speak. Like, she is into pageantry and all of this stuff, but she's more than that. You know, she brings more than that to the table. I don't know where she is fully career-wise or anything like that, but, you know, she's still young and she's got time, but she just seems like real to me. Like, more so than some of the other people, I guess. Maybe. Okay. So I like her. And I hope that they didn't do her a disservice by matching her up with Eris. He seemed okay to me, honestly, during the process as they were doing the selections. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if that girl, Felina, is like his play cousin. Because it doesn't seem like a blood cousin. She seems to have a very uncomfortable attachment to him. Yeah. I don't. You guys, let me know what you think about that. Like, it could be that she's just very close to him and she thinks she knows what's best, but it just didn't seem quite right to me.
It was strange.
She was like, "Don't do this."
Yeah, yeah.
Why are you so invested? Just support this man. This is your cousin, right? Yeah. It's my step cousin. Like what?
The girl did everything except for break out into Vesta song. Congratulations. I thought it would have been me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with that. It's so strange. Mm-hmm. It's so strange. I don't know, but I still stand by what I said last week. I think that he is I think he's going to be emotionally unavailable in this relationship.
He might be. Now, he did talk about how he hadn't been available since he was 28. He got his heart broken because he got ghosted. He hadn't been ghosted before. He had done all the ghosting.
Yeah.
And he got ghosted when he was 28. And that shut him down. Like, for 11 years? Really, sir? That's a long time to be shut down. And now you've decided not to open up to a relationship, and just test the waters that way, but to jump all the way
to marriage.
Yeah,
marriage
that's a lot. And maybe that's all Felina is saying. Maybe she's just like, I know what he does, and I don't want him to hurt anybody.
Maybe it could be, but how she's presenting it is still strange.
It does come off bizarre.
And I think that could be definitely the downfall of this whole relationship then, because if he's gone through one night stands and hookups without never developing how to healthily relate to someone or another, to a woman in a relationship, those mechanics are not going to be there for this relationship, and you're going to be thrust into a marriage where you're living with this person given the work hours, but you're going to be living with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there will be no escape. You're going to have to be able to communicate. You're going to have to be able to provide and help them for whatever they need help with, and secure their needs. And if you don't have those mechanics, if you've never had to develop in that type of way, then he's going to struggle.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him waving goodbye to the streets, but I don't know. He might be back out in the streets pretty soon. I'm not sure. I hope he is ready. I mean, he's 39. It's not like he's real young, and he should be prepared for this type of commitment. But, experience teaches. And if he hasn't given himself the opportunity to have these experiences, then, we might find that Felina just is smarter than all of us. She tried to tell us and we was just judging her.
Oh, come on, Felina.
All right. So finally, let's talk about Gina and Clint. Another bad match. Honestly, I mean, I hope that some of these bad matches can surprise us, and turn out well. But it's an awkward match. It's just a match where you can't even visualize the chemistry. Like I can't even in my head force that chemistry. I don't see it. I see him and I see her, and I don't see them interacting as anything other than platonic. That's tough for me. And that's just on sight. And then when they talk about like lifestyles and we go on into, how she is and how he seems like very adventuresome and outdoorsy and, stuff like that. And she's in the salon, like dyeing people's hair and giving them highlights and stuff. And I'm like, this doesn't really match up. And they got Pastor Cal on here narrating and trying to say why they're going to work together. And I wasn't feeling any of it.
No. You got this guy who is, for all intents and purposes, a sailing cowboy. Put both of those together. You on a sea, but you're a cowboy. I mean, no horses are on the sea. So I don't understand. I've never seen such. So that whole thing is an oxymoron to me. And then you have her who is a businesswoman who's successful, And I guess he's successful as well. I guess because he's a pilot
But I thought
and
that was
things
just
of-
a hobby.
Oh, that's a hobby? I thought they
Yeah,
was
he's
talking
not
about.
like a full-time pilot.
Okay,
I
so
don't
he just
think.
got the whole thing in his house for fun.
Yeah, I think so. Y'all let us know if I'm
Oh.
wrong, but I don't think that's not his career.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, anyway, they just a strange match to say the least. They're so strange that through these first 3 episodes now that we've kind of seen
Mm-hmm.
that it's kind of hard to even get a vibe on how they could actually function together because they're just kind of off-putting when you think about them together.
Yeah, I can't wait until they get married.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like her friends may try to call to her and warn her when they walk out.
Yeah.
They're like, no, this isn't it. I don't know. I don't even think they might not either one be attracted to the other.
Mm.
You know,
It's possible.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think that might be a problem right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
He talked with his friends and they seemed okay. Like they were funny, talking about, it's crazy to marry somebody, let alone somebody you don't know. So I kind of liked his friends. His friends gave me a better vibe maybe than him.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that he said that stood out to me was that he was with his ex. I think it was a long-term relationship. Like he thought it was going to turn into a marriage, I suppose. But she became unhappy because she was conforming to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh no, it really is Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, for Gina's part, I don't know that she would be that all self-sacrificing Kristen that we saw, last season.
Yeah.
So they might bump heads a whole lot sooner. Or maybe that relationship has taught him to be a little bit more flexible. Not sure about that, but they just don't seem well aligned. If you guys get a better vibe from them than what we're getting, let us know. Let us know what it is that you see, because I just can't. I don't want to say this is the worst season of matches because we've seen such bad ones, but I'm not feeling most of them. Nobody is standing out to me. This is what's alarming, I guess, as that couple.
No. Absolutely not. I don't see anyone that I like some of them individually.
Yeah.
But none of them as a couple do I like. To be honest with you,
all
I
of these
don't
couples.
get it.
I mean, I think maybe if Eris is better off, like mentally and prepared for a relationship than what his cousin thinks that he is, maybe it will be those two.
You know what? Maybe I would love to be wrong and get a surprise like Woody. Because my first impression of Woody was, okay, this dude, he's kind of like he got play vibes going on, And so I love
Woody.
wrong.
I'm such a big Woody fan.
Yeah, Woody turned out to be like one of the best people ever on this show. And so I hope, that with Eris and all that, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that he is really going to engage this thing and put his full effort into it. And then that way, it's going to lessen the chance that both of them are going to be really hurt and disappointed at the end, of course. And so, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
We're going to throw our eggs in their basket then. That's the one we're going to hope for the power couple. Because I'm not seeing a power couple. I guess that's what's so alarming.
Yeah. Well, who did, Pastor Cal said he thought that one of them was a power couple. It was Kirsten and Shaq, right? That's who he said. He was wrong.
I mean,
but that's what he said.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think that's just because they're both well educated and kind of successful and stuff. So he sees that as being the power couple. Yeah. But in terms of them like getting along, well, I don't see it.
Yeah. So, I see no power. I see no couple.
This could be a bad season, y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that's all we have for this episode of Married at First Sight Season 16. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your predictions early on because it's looking gloom and doom over here with us. So hopefully we're wrong. But let us know. Drop those comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Bye.